Hello and welcome back to the Jerusalem Post. I'm your host, Maayan Hoffman, and I am joined today by Mark Silberman. Mark is the Jewish Future Pledge Global Chairman, and together with his wife, Linda, they are working to help secure the future of the Jewish philanthropy. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Great. Now, I know that you are a leading figure in the Jewish community in Georgia, and as well as other national philanthropic endeavors that you're involved with. And in addition to being chairman of the Jewish Future Pledge, I understand that you have also served as president of your congregation. Is that right?
Yes, that's true. That was sort of the beginning of my Jewish journey on nonprofit leadership.
Amazing. And that's Temple Kehilat Chaim. I know it's a national reform community. Is that right?
Yes. So far,
Excellent.
so good.
Excellent. I'm glad that we have the information right. So, Mark, you and your wife are both leading figures in not only the local Jewish community in Georgia, but for the last 25 years, you have both been involved in an incredible journey, a nonprofit journey, in order to have impact in the Jewish community, different leadership roles. And I'd love to hear a little bit about why your involvement in Jewish philanthropy and why it became such an important part of your life.
Well, to be honest with you, our sort of philanthropic Jewish journey didn't really begin until I was age 49. So prior to being bar mitzvahed, I grew up in Long Island in New York City, suburb, and I was bar mitzvahed at age 13, and then I sort of left my Jewishness behind for all those years until age 49, where I went down to volunteer at the temple because I had some little extra time. And the next thing you know, I was sort of set on some sort of unbelievable miracle Jewish journey for the last 25 years. And it's not over yet, but it's been a great ride of all different organizations and all different philanthropic opportunities. And it's really sort of between both for my wife and I, it's really been life-changing for us to have so many great friends and so many connections and so many interests in the Jewish world.
So tell me a little bit about, how the Jewish Future Pledge is helping to invest in the future of Jewish philanthropy. Why did you choose that as one of the initiatives?
Well, it seemed pretty simplistic to me when I read the white paper and the case statement about how my partner in crime, Mike Levin, sort of thought about this idea and why it was so important. And like most of us who operate in the Jewish world, we're always looking ahead. What's next? What are some of the hurdles? What do we really have to prepare for? And we were very concerned that this wealth transfer that's going to come up in the next 20 years, how are we going to sort of make arrangements, or how are we going to ensure the Jewish future while those people would make sure that they were carving out assets out of their estate to be used for Jewish philanthropy?
Wow. Now, I understand that in addition to your own commitments, you've actually made it a very important part to engage your children in what you're doing as well. And you actually established your intergenerational legacy that will continue for the next generation. How have you engaged your family? Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. When I signed the Jewish Future Pledge, it became a reality that the signature wasn't really good enough. I understand it was a pledge, a commitment, but was more important to my wife and I that we gather the children around. This was probably over 3 years ago. We gathered the children around and we have a little meeting with them. We happened to do it in Thanksgiving of 2020, believe it or not, during COVID. Yeah. And we talked to them about why we signed the Jewish Future Pledge, why it was so important to us, our Jewish values. We went deeper and actually wrote a legacy letter to them, which informed them of our intentions, what would happen to us after we passed on, and our expectations for them for philanthropy, et cetera. And so right then and there, they were very interested in saying, one of my daughters raised her hand and said, well, we don't really know too much about philanthropy, Dad. Can you teach us? And that was sort of the golden moment, the light bulb that went off for my wife and I. And so we've been on a 3-year journey. We now have all 4 of our children who we are lucky enough to have them live here in Atlanta. All 4 of them are more married and we have 6 grandchildren already, but all 4 of the children that are married have another religion operating in the household. And so it even became more important to us to roll up the non-Jewish spouse as part of our family philanthropy team. And so now we do all 4 family units, plus my wife and I, so there's 10 of us at the table, do philanthropy together. And it really sort of opened our eyes to what the next generation was interested in. And it opened our eyes that we must teach them about why it's so important to continue to give Jewishly and to support not only new organizations that are up and coming or haven't even been invented yet, but also to support legacy organizations that help build the Jewish operating system, the ecosystem that we're in now. And so, and the last part, I think it's very important I think it's very important that the sort of the structure of the family, we're trying to keep our family together. So the question is, how do you keep the family together? So we celebrate holidays, we celebrate birthdays, we try to take a family trip with everybody. But the last point, the real stake in the ground is I now have them at the table to do family philanthropy. So they will always be at the table forever, as Linda and I make arrangements to ensure that they will have philanthropic dollars to give Jewishly. And so they're going to come to the table for, while we're still alive, obviously, but then they're going to come to the table as children, and they will bring the grandchildren. I have 6 grandchildren, and they're from 3 to 14 now. And they also are on the peripheral of getting involved with philanthropy in their own way. So we're sort of very excited about the legacy we're going to leave for our family.
That is so special. And I love those 2 phrases, the Jewish philanthropy team and the family philanthropy. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just awesome. So tell me, one of the really beautiful things about the Jewish Future Pledge is that, anybody who gives money or works through the Jewish Future Pledge is able to invest their charitable giving to wherever they want, right? Tell me a little bit about the guidelines and where that means, what that means wherever you want, or how you can direct those funds.
Well, we obviously, we're not in the business of directing funds. We're in the business of promoting the idea that people, as part of their estate, should give some serious thought to what they're going to leave Jewishly. And so we believe in legacy giving or endowment at that point in time, but we also believe in unrestricted giving. And we want to make sure that if people have, donor advised funds and they're using those assets, that the next generation is aware that that money is available, and they also will come to the table and make gifts. We do not recommend organizations. There's plenty of nonprofit Jewish organizations in the world that are going to need financial resources. You can only imagine that if we have this moment in time and we don't protect these assets for the future giving of the Jewish people, there's going to be nothing left to give to if we don't create these assets in some sort of vehicle for the next generation to give away.
So one last question. If you were asked right here, right now, why should I sign the Jewish Future Pledge? What would your response be?
Well, I have a quick answer. Number one, because you should. And if you're interested in the Jewish future, it's the right thing to do.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Mark Silberman. It's been a pleasure to interview you today.
Yeah, good to be with you. Thank you.